Hello, my friend. I'm Dr. Charles Hunt, and welcome to the Liver Doctor. Today, I want to ask you a simple question. Do you ever feel tired, even after a full night's sleep? Do you notice your waistline expanding, even though your diet hasn't changed much? Or perhaps you've been told your liver enzymes are slightly elevated during a routine checkup. These are often the early signs of a condition known as fatty liver, and it is far more common than most people realize. In fact, millions of people around the world suffer from fatty liver disease without even knowing it, because it develops quietly, often without pain, until the damage has already begun. Now here's the surprising part. While fatty liver is linked with sugar, alcohol, and poor lifestyle choices, not all of the blame belongs to junk food. Even fruits, the very foods we consider natural and healthy, can either help heal your liver or silently make the problem worse. That's right. Some fruits, eaten daily, can protect your liver cells, lower inflammation, and even help reverse fatty buildup. But others, especially when eaten in excess, can overload your liver with fructose and push you deeper into liver damage. The difference between the right fruit and the wrong fruit could be the difference between healing and harm. That's why in this video, we're going to take a closer look at 3 fruits you can eat daily to support your liver and 3 fruits you should avoid if you want to protect yourself from fatty liver disease. I'll also give you a bonus guide on how to choose fruits wisely, so you'll never have to wonder whether what's on your plate is helping or hurting your liver. Stay with me until the end, because some of the fruits I'll reveal may surprise you. One of them is so powerful, it has been shown in scientific studies to actually reduce fat inside the liver, yet most people don't include it in their daily diet. On the other hand, one of the fruits I'll warn you about is marketed as healthy, but can spike your liver fat as quickly as a can of soda. Let's begin with one of the smallest but strongest protectors of liver health: blueberries. Blueberries may be small, but when it comes to liver health, they pack an extraordinary punch. These little berries are loaded with antioxidants, particularly anthocyanins, which give them their deep blue and purple color. Inside your body, anthocyanins act like bodyguards, protecting your liver cells from inflammation and oxidative stress. Why is that important? Because inflammation and oxidative stress are 2 of the main drivers behind fatty liver disease. When free radicals attack your liver cells, they cause tiny injuries. Over time, these injuries build up, leading to scarring and reduced liver function. Blueberries work like shields, neutralizing these free radicals before they can do serious damage. But their benefits don't stop there. Blueberries also help improve insulin sensitivity. Many people with fatty liver disease also struggle with insulin resistance, a condition where the body's cells stop responding effectively to insulin. This causes blood sugar to spike, and the liver ends up storing more sugar as fat. Blueberries have been shown in clinical studies to reduce insulin resistance, meaning your body can manage blood sugar better and place less strain on the liver. Just a small daily serving can help interrupt the cycle of sugar spikes and fat storage that worsens fatty liver. Another powerful effect of blueberries is their ability to activate certain protective genes inside the liver. These genes increase the production of enzymes that detoxify harmful substances and repair damaged tissue. It is like flipping a switch that tells your liver, it's time to heal and clean. That's why many nutrition experts consider blueberries one of the best fruits for preventing the progression of fatty liver into more dangerous stages such as fibrosis or cirrhosis. Now let's talk about how to get the most from blueberries. The best option is to eat them fresh or frozen without added sugar. Many people make the mistake of buying blueberry muffins, blueberry yogurts, or sweetened juices and thinking they are getting the same benefit. Unfortunately, those products often contain more sugar than actual blueberries, and the added sugar feeds fatty liver disease. Instead, keep it simple. Add a handful of blueberries to your oatmeal, blend them into a smoothie with leafy greens, or enjoy them as a light snack on their own. Frozen blueberries are just as powerful as fresh ones, because freezing preserves most of the antioxidants. You don't need to eat massive amounts. Even half a cup a day is enough to provide meaningful protection for your liver. The key is consistency. Think of it as daily medicine for your liver, delivered by nature in a sweet, delicious form. There is one more point to remember. Blueberries are low in natural sugar compared to many other fruits, making them safe to eat daily without overloading your liver with fructose. This is an important detail because fructose is metabolized primarily by the liver. High fructose fruits in large quantities can worsen fatty liver, but blueberries give you the opposite effect. High antioxidants with low sugar. When you make blueberries a part of your regular diet, you are essentially giving your liver a team of microscopic protectors that reduce inflammation, improve blood sugar balance, and strengthen your detox systems. They are one of the simplest and most enjoyable ways to fight back against fatty liver disease. Now that you've seen the power of blueberries, let's move on to another fruit that doesn't just protect the liver. It has been shown to actively reduce fat stored inside the liver. That fruit is grapefruit. Grapefruit is one of the most impressive fruits you can eat if you are dealing with fatty liver, and its benefits are backed by strong scientific evidence. This citrus fruit contains two powerful compounds, naringenin and naringin, that work directly on the liver to reduce fat storage and improve detoxification. When you eat grapefruit, these compounds help activate enzymes in the liver that break down fatty acids. Instead of being stored inside the liver, those fats are used for energy or eliminated. In simple terms, grapefruit doesn't just prevent liver fat, it actually helps your body burn it. Research has shown that grapefruit can lower triglyceride levels and reduce the risk of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, especially in people with metabolic syndrome. This is because grapefruit also improves insulin sensitivity. Just like blueberries, it helps your cells respond better to insulin, which means your blood sugar remains more stable and less of it is converted into fat in the liver. For anyone struggling with weight gain around the waist, fatigue, or prediabetes, grapefruit can make a meaningful difference. But there is more. Grapefruit is rich in vitamin C and antioxidants that reduce oxidative stress in liver cells. These antioxidants act as protectors, shielding the liver from daily damage caused by toxins, pollution, and even medications. At the same time, grapefruit supports your immune system and helps keep inflammation under control, which is essential because chronic inflammation is one of the leading drivers of fatty liver disease. Now, the way you eat grapefruit matters. Many people turn it into juice and add sugar to cut the tartness. Unfortunately, that habit cancels out the benefits. Grapefruit juice, especially when sweetened, floods your system with fructose, which the liver has to convert into fat. The best way to consume grapefruit is fresh, in sections, or added to a salad. If the taste is too sharp, you can balance it with slices of cucumber, avocado, or leafy greens rather than adding sugar. That way, you keep the liver healing power without adding the extra burden of sugar. There is also an important caution to note. Grapefruit can interact with certain medications by affecting how they are broken down in the liver. This doesn't mean grapefruit is dangerous, but if you are on prescription drugs, especially cholesterol or blood pressure medications, it's important to check with your doctor before making grapefruit a daily habit. For most people, however, moderate daily consumption is safe and extremely beneficial. 1 or 2 servings a few times per week are enough to deliver these protective effects. Over time, this small habit can add up to measurable improvements in liver health, lower fat levels, and better metabolic balance. Grapefruit is inexpensive, widely available, and doesn't require complicated preparation, making it one of the easiest tools you can use against fatty liver disease. Think of grapefruit as a liver reset button. Every time you eat it, you help your liver process fat more effectively, reduce inflammation, and strengthen its ability to heal itself. Few fruits offer such direct and powerful support. Now let's move to our third fruit on the safe list. This one comes from the tropics, is naturally sweet, easy to digest, and provides unique enzymes that gently support your liver's detox pathways. I'm talking about papaya. Papaya is often thought of as just a refreshing tropical fruit, but for your liver, it can be a gentle, yet powerful healer. What makes papaya special is the unique combination of enzymes, fiber, and antioxidants it provides, all of which support liver function in different ways. One of the key enzymes in papaya is papain, which aids in protein digestion and reduces the workload on the liver. By improving digestion, papaya ensures that nutrients are absorbed more efficiently, and fewer undigested particles end up creating toxins that the liver must process. In this sense, papaya acts as an assistant, lightening the liver's daily burden. Papaya is also very rich in vitamin C and beta-carotene, two nutrients that have strong antioxidant properties. Vitamin C helps neutralize free radicals that would otherwise damage liver cells, while beta-carotene gets converted into vitamin A, which strengthens the liver's protective barriers. Together, these nutrients create a cleaner, healthier environment inside your liver, lowering inflammation and promoting regeneration. For someone struggling with fatty liver, these antioxidants help slow the progression of the disease and even encourage healing. Another reason papaya is a great daily fruit for liver health is its high fiber content. Fiber not only keeps your digestion smooth, but also helps carry toxins and waste products on out of the body through the intestines. This means fewer toxins recirculate back to the liver, reducing the constant strain on its detox systems. Soluble fiber in papaya can also help lower cholesterol levels, which is important because excess cholesterol in the blood can contribute to fatty deposits in the liver. What's unique about papaya, compared to many other fruits, is that it is naturally low in fructose. Remember, fructose is the form of sugar that is metabolized almost entirely by the liver. While some fruits overload the liver with fructose, papaya provides sweetness without the same risk of fat buildup. This makes it especially safe for people with fatty liver who want to enjoy fruit daily without causing harm. There are a few tips to make the most of papaya. Always choose ripe papaya, as it is easier to digest and richer in antioxidants. You can enjoy it fresh on its own. Blend it into a smoothie with spinach or cucumber, or even in a salad mixed with lime juice and mint. Avoid pairing papaya with heavy creams or sugary toppings, which would add unnecessary fat and sugar that burden the liver. Keeping it simple and fresh is the best way to let papaya do its job. Some cultures also use papaya seeds in small amounts for digestive health, as they contain compounds that may help reduce parasites and support detoxification. However, the seeds are quite strong in taste and should only be eaten sparingly. The flesh of the fruit itself provides all the benefits your liver needs. By including papaya regularly in your diet, you give your liver a fruit that is easy to process, low in sugar, high in antioxidants, and soothing to the digestive system. It's one of the best daily fruits for anyone with fatty liver, offering gentle yet consistent protection. Now that we've discussed three of the best fruits you can eat daily, it's time to flip the coin. Some fruits may look healthy on the outside, but can actually make fatty liver worse, especially when eaten in excess. The first one on this list is a worldwide favorite, sweet and juicy, but surprisingly heavy on the liver. Mangoes. Mangoes are often called the king of fruits, loved for their sweetness and vibrant color. But when it comes to fatty liver, this royal fruit can quietly become a problem if it is eaten too often. The main issue with mangoes is their very high content of natural sugars, especially fructose. Unlike glucose, which can be used by nearly every cell in the body for energy, fructose must be processed almost entirely by the liver. When you eat a mango, your liver is forced to handle a sudden rush of fructose, and if its storage capacity is already full, much of that sugar is converted into fat. Over time, this repeated cycle leads to fat buildup inside the liver, worsening fatty liver disease. Many people believe that because mangoes are natural, they must be completely safe. The truth is more complicated. Yes, mangoes provide vitamin C, vitamin A, and fiber, which have their own health benefits. But the sheer sugar load in a single mango can outweigh those benefits for someone with fatty liver. Depending on size, a ripe mango can contain more sugar than a can of soda. For a liver already struggling with fat storage and inflammation, this is like adding fuel to the fire. The problem becomes worse when mangoes are consumed as juices, smoothies, or desserts. A glass of mango juice may contain the sugar of 2 or 3 whole mangoes, stripped of the fiber that slows absorption. This means your liver receives a massive sugar spike in just a few minutes, far more than it can handle at once. Commercial mango products, such as dried mango slices or candies, are often coated with additional sugar, making them even more harmful. These forms of mango are especially dangerous for people with fatty liver because they multiply the exact stress your liver is already facing. That does not mean mangoes must be banned for life. For someone with healthy liver function, enjoying mango in moderation may not cause significant harm. But for those with fatty liver, the safest approach is to avoid making mangoes a daily fruit. If you really want to enjoy them, keep the portion very small, perhaps just a few slices on occasion, and always pair them with fiber-rich foods like chia seeds or vegetables to slow down the sugar absorption. Eating mango along with protein and healthy fat, such as yogurt or a handful of nuts, can also help reduce the impact on blood sugar and liver fat storage. Another tip is to choose less ripe mangoes, which tend to have slightly lower sugar content compared to fully ripened, ultra-sweet ones. Still, moderation is key. The goal with fatty liver is to lighten the liver's load, not to give it extra work. If you replace daily mango consumption with lower sugar, high antioxidant fruits like blueberries or papaya, your liver will have a much better chance to heal and regenerate. Mangoes may be delicious, but they are not the best ally for your liver when eaten too often. Remember, fatty liver is not about avoiding sweetness altogether, but about choosing the right sources of natural sugar that come with protective compounds, not just sugar alone. For this reason, mangoes belong firmly on the list of fruits to avoid if your goal is to reverse fatty liver. Now let's turn to another fruit that may surprise you. It looks harmless, even healthy, and is often eaten as a quick snack. But in reality, when eaten in large amounts or as juice, it can be just as risky for fatty liver as mango. I'm talking about grapes. Grapes are one of the most popular fruits worldwide, enjoyed fresh, as juice, or even in the form of wine. At first glance, they appear harmless. After all, grapes are natural, bite-sized, and packed with water. But when it comes to fatty liver, grapes can quickly become a hidden danger, especially when eaten in large amounts. The reason lies once again in their sugar content. Grapes are very high in natural sugars, particularly fructose and glucose. A small handful might not seem like much, but because they are so easy to snack on, it's common for people to eat far more than they realize. This delivers a heavy dose of sugar straight to the liver, which converts it into fat when storage is already full. The problem becomes even more serious with grape juice. A single glass can contain the sugar of 20 or more grapes, and without the fiber that slows absorption, the sugar rush hits the liver in minutes. For someone dealing with fatty liver, this is the last thing you want. That concentrated sugar overload directly fuels fat storage inside liver cells, contributing to inflammation and long-term damage. Even so-called 100% natural grape juice carries this risk, because the natural sugar is still metabolized in the same way. Now, grapes do contain antioxidants such as resveratrol, which has been studied for its potential benefits to heart and liver health. However, the amount of resveratrol in fresh grapes is relatively small, and the benefits are often outweighed by the sugar load if you eat them excessively. The positive effects of resveratrol are more pronounced in grape skins and seeds, and often in concentrated extracts, rather than in the sweet pulp of table grapes. This means that for someone with fatty liver, eating large amounts of grapes daily is not the best way to gain antioxidants. The key issue is balance. A few grapes as part of a mixed fruit salad are unlikely to cause significant harm. But making grapes your go-to snack or drinking grape juice regularly can be problematic. One of the sneakiest problems is that grapes don't feel heavy or filling, so it's easy to eat 2 or 3 cups without noticing. That's the equivalent of multiple tablespoons of sugar entering your liver in one sitting. For a liver already struggling, this is like pouring gasoline on a slow-burning fire. Another factor to consider is wine. While moderate red wine has been praised for its antioxidant content, alcohol is one of the most damaging substances for the liver. For someone with fatty liver, alcohol of any kind should be minimized or avoided, regardless of its origin. So while wine is made from grapes, its risks far outweigh any potential benefit for your liver. If you truly enjoy grapes, the safest approach is strict moderation. Limit yourself to a small handful once in a while, preferably combined with high-fiber foods to slow sugar absorption. Avoid grape juice and dried grape products altogether, as they are concentrated sugar sources with very little benefit. Better yet, choose lower sugar fruits like berries, which deliver antioxidants without overwhelming your liver. Grapes may seem like an innocent snack, but when eaten in excess, they can push fatty liver disease in the wrong direction. To give your liver the best chance to heal, it's better to keep grapes as an occasional treat rather than a daily habit. Now let's move on to another fruit that many people think of as healthy, especially for quick energy. But in reality, this fruit, in its dried form, is one of the worst offenders for fatty liver because it delivers concentrated sugar in tiny packages. I'm talking about dried fruits like dates, raisins, and figs. Dried fruits like dates, raisins, and figs are often marketed as healthy snacks. They come in small packages, are easy to carry, and are considered by many as a natural source of quick energy. But when you are dealing with fatty liver, these tiny bites can be one of the worst choices you could make. The main problem with dried fruits is that they are extremely concentrated sources of sugar. When fruit is dried, the water is removed, but all of the natural sugar remains. This means a small handful of raisins or dates can contain as much sugar as a large slice of cake. And because they are so small, it is easy to eat far more than you realize. For someone with fatty liver, this creates a dangerous situation. Your liver already struggles to process excess sugar, particularly fructose, and dried fruits flood the system with it. Unlike whole fresh fruit, which comes with water and fiber that slow digestion, dried fruits deliver sugar in a compact form that is absorbed quickly. The liver is forced to convert that sugar into fat, which accumulates inside liver cells and worsens fatty liver disease. Over time, this can push the condition toward more advanced stages like fibrosis or cirrhosis. Dates are especially concerning. Just 3 or 4 large dates can deliver more than 60 grams of sugar, almost the equivalent of a can of soda. Raisins, too, are deceptively sweet. A small box of raisins may look like a light snack, but it contains the sugar of dozens of grapes without the water that helps dilute the impact. Figs, whether dried or fresh, also provide large amounts of fructose, but the dried form is far more concentrated and risky for the liver. Some people eat dried fruits believing they are a healthier alternative to candy. While it is true that dried fruits contain small amounts of fiber and minerals, the overwhelming sugar load cancels out those benefits for anyone with liver concerns. The reality is that dried fruits behave more like sweets than like fresh fruit. They spike blood sugar, increase insulin resistance, and encourage fat storage in the liver. For people trying to reverse fatty liver, this is a hidden trap that can silently sabotage progress. This doesn't mean you must avoid dried fruits for life, but they should be treated like desserts. Rare and very limited. If you enjoy them, keep the portion extremely small, perhaps 1 or 2 pieces, and combine them with nuts or seeds to help slow sugar absorptions. Even then, they should be an occasional indulgence, not a daily habit. If you are serious about healing your liver, replacing dried fruits with fresh, water-rich fruits like papaya, berries, or citrus is a far safer and more effective option. Another thing to be cautious of is packaged trail mixes or snack bars that include dried fruits. These often combine concentrated fruit sugar with added sweeteners, oils, and preservatives, making them even harder on the liver. Always check labels carefully And remember that natural does not always mean healthy when sugar is involved. For fatty liver patients, the safest approach is to focus on fresh fruits in moderate amounts. The water and fiber in fresh fruits slow down digestion, provide satiety, and reduce the risk of overwhelming the liver with sugar. By contrast, dried fruits remove this natural balance, delivering sugar in doses your liver cannot safely handle. Now that we have covered both the best and worst fruits for fatty liver, let's bring everything together. In the next section, we will review what you should focus on, what to limit, and how to make smart choices every day to give your liver the best chance to heal. Now that we've explored the best and worst fruits for fatty liver, it's important to understand the principles behind these choices. This way, you won't have to memorize lists or second-guess yourself each time you reach for a piece of fruit. Instead, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to enjoy fruit in a way that supports your liver, rather than harms it. The first guideline is to prioritize fruits that are high in antioxidants and fiber, but relatively low in sugar. Antioxidants like anthocyanins, flavonoids, and vitamin C are critical for protecting liver cells from oxidative stress. Fiber helps slow the absorption of natural sugars, preventing blood sugar spikes and reducing the workload on your liver. Blueberries, grapefruit, and papaya are excellent examples of fruits that meet this balance, rich in protective compounds while being gentle on the liver's sugar-handling systems. The second principle is to choose whole fruits over juices. Whole fruits contain fiber and water that naturally regulate how quickly sugar enters your bloodstream. Juices, even when labeled as 100% natural, strip away the fiber and condense sugar into a highly concentrated form. This forces your liver to handle an overwhelming sugar load in a very short time. If you truly enjoy juice, limit it to very small amounts, and consider diluting it with water or pairing it with a meal that contains protein and healthy fat. Another guideline is portion control. Even healthy fruits can become a problem if eaten in excess. Your liver has a limited capacity to process fructose, and going beyond that threshold leads to fat storage. A good rule of thumb is to keep your daily fruit intake to 2 or 3 moderate servings, focusing on a variety of types rather than large quantities of any single fruit. For example, a handful of blueberries in the morning, a slice of grapefruit at lunch, and a few cubes of papaya in the evening will give you a powerful spread of nutrients without overwhelming your liver. It's also wise to be mindful of ripeness. Very ripe fruits, like bananas and mangoes at their sweetest point, tend to have higher sugar concentrations. Choosing fruits that are just ripe but not overly soft can help reduce sugar intake, while still giving you plenty of vitamins and antioxidants. Another key principle is pairing. Eating fruit along with foods rich in protein or healthy fats can slow digestion and stabilize blood sugar. For example, pairing apple slices with almond butter or papaya with a handful of walnuts helps balance the sugar and makes it easier on your liver. On the other hand, combining fruits with sugary toppings, syrups, or processed desserts defeats the purpose and only adds more stress to your liver. Finally, remember that variety is your best friend. Each fruit has a unique profile of nutrients and antioxidants. By rotating different fruits throughout the week, you give your liver a wide range of protective compounds and reduce the risk of overloading it with sugar from any single source. By following these principles, you can enjoy fruit every day without fear of harming your liver. The goal isn't to avoid fruit altogether. It's to make smarter choices that provide nourishment, healing, and balance. When chosen wisely, fruits can be one of the most powerful allies in reversing fatty liver and restoring your health. Now let's bring it all together. With a clear recap and a professional closing message, we have reached the end of this guide. And by now you can see that not all fruits are equal when it comes to fatty liver. Some can be daily allies, protecting and healing your liver, while others quietly add to the problem. The difference lies in the balance between sugar, fiber, and antioxidants, and knowing this balance gives you the power to make the right choices every day. We began with the 3 fruit you can eat daily. Blueberries, small but mighty, providing antioxidants that guard your liver cells and improve insulin sensitivity. Grapefruit, rich in compounds that not only protect but also help burn liver fat directly. And papaya, gentle on digestion, low in sugar, and packed with vitamins and enzymes that lighten your liver's workload. Together, these fruits offer daily protection, renewal, and support. On the other hand, we also looked at 3 fruits you should be cautious with if you want to reverse fatty liver. Mangoes, with their high sugar load that overwhelms the liver and feeds fat storage. Grapes, which seem innocent but in excess, especially as juice, deliver sugar levels your liver cannot manage. And dried fruits like dates, raisins, and figs, which are essentially concentrated sugar bombs that spike blood sugar and worsen fat accumulation. These are best limited or avoided if your goal is healing. The bonus lesson is simple but powerful. Choose whole fruits rich in antioxidants and fiber. Eat them in moderation and avoid juices and concentrated forms that overload the liver. By following this principle, you can still enjoy the sweetness of fruit while giving your liver the protection it deserves. Remember, your liver has an incredible ability to heal itself when given the right conditions. Every smart choice you make, every serving of blueberries, every slice of grapefruit, every fresh papaya, is a step toward recovery. And every time you say no to excessive sugar, juices, or dried fruits, you give your liver the breathing space it needs to repair. I'm Dr. Charles Hunt, and I am the Liver Doctor. If you want to keep your liver strong and protect your long-term health, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Together, we'll uncover the science, the habits, and the foods that keep your liver and your entire body working at its very best.